y'all, welcome back to another episode of Truth Carpet. I am Unique Love. My wig is cute, and I'm here with my best friend. I had to introduce the girl.
Okay.
With my best friend.
It is I, Monie Loud.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish I had a timber. What's it called? Tambourine?
Yes, the tent.
Yes, I'm gonna give it a
second. You was going like this, like
maraca. Welcome back to another episode, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. How are you, Monie?
I am
cute. Yes, you are.
Yes, I'm cute. You cute too.
Thank you.
But on the other hand, I am feeling the effects of this New York spring weather.
Oh no, you need some Zyrtec?
I don't know if I need some Zyrtec, Xanax, whatever.
Anything that got us.
Yo, all I know is it's just a different kind of spring over here.
Yeah.
Like, and I can feel it. I can smell everything. And my ears is messed up. My throat been a little scratchy, and of course my nose been running. So I'm just like, and the sneezing has been tremendous. Okay.
It's crazy how when you go to different areas of the world or the United States, because that's how I was when I went to Atlanta. Like, it's just horrible.
Right,
and I already had bad allergies.
Right, it's just like not what your body is used to.
Yeah.
Just like I have allergy medicine that worked when I was back in Cali. I'm like, I need something a little stronger.
Right.
This my little Flonase, it's not working. I need something else.
I wonder if my body got used to it or the allergy, like the pollen is getting worse.
Right. No, I know this past week it was a high pollen in the air. So I'm just like, not looking forward to the rest of spring, I can tell you that. And not only that, the spring weather here is very odd.
It's trash.
It is what? It'll be like nice, warm, and sunny one day. You'd be like, oh yes, outside with a dress. And then by the end of the day, you'd be like, okay, bundled up in a coat, hood on. Let me make sure I got my umbrella because now it's raining. Or like the one day when it was nice and sunny outside and then all of a sudden it was hailing.
Oh yeah. No, on behalf of the East Coast, I would like to let you know this is not our normal spring. Like, we're all as confused as you are. We're all confused. Like, what the heck is going on? It feels like winter one day, summer one day. I don't know what one day. Like, this is ridiculous. So, can y'all stop littering? This is just too much.
Like, the wind has not tried to knock me down a few times this week, and I'm just like, what? Yeah. I was so so ready to walk home just so I can have like that end of my day when I go home from work. That's like my peace for the end of my day. I ended up walking home in the rain. It wasn't too bad because it wasn't raining. It just rained for like half the amount of time that I was walking. And
it rained or drizzle?
It was like a mix of both. Like, it started as some rain and then it turned into drizzle and then it just stopped. It didn't know what it wanted to do.
Right.
New York weather, East Coast weather, bipolar. All right.
That's
very
not
bipolar.
The norm. I'm telling you.
Well,
people are littering.
Well, y'all is going through something. The weather out here is going through something. It's bipolar season. It's bipolar weather season.
We're all confused. We're all really confused.
Figure it out, girl. Figure it out.
Dear
Weather need therapy. What's going on? But anywho, girl, how are you?
I would just hop on that bandwagon and say I'm as confused as you about this weather. I had a jean jacket 2 days ago. I had a little windbreaker 3 days before that, and then today I got a bubble coat. So I'm like, get it together.
It's not it. It's not it.
It's not. Like, do I even need bathing suits for this summer?
Right. What is the summer going to be like?
The summer's going to be here September 21st, y'all.
That is not when the summer starts. That's June 20th. Oh, which I must say, I'm very, very, very excited about the summer, because when the summer hits, it's going to be my 1 year anniversary in New York, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do to celebrate my 1 year. I know one thing for sure I want to do.
Don't tell them.
Okay, I won't tell them.
Okay.
But I want to figure out. I've been trying to think of some other things that I want to do. So the top thing on my list will be a surprise.
Yeah.
But I want to figure out something else like fun and exciting to do for that 1 year mark for July 1st, 2020.
Oh, we should do a dance class, rooftop dance and workout. Yes.
We're gonna do something, but I'm super, super excited. Plus, last year it was like we sort of outside, but we still kind of inside. Things wasn't really open yet, so I know like summer about to be litty. Okay, summer is about to be lit. I'm excited to see what a true New York summer is like, since everything.
We all are.
Since everything is open back up now, we're back to a somewhat of a norm. So yeah, I'm excited for summer. So spring, I'm ready for you to leave.
Or come like you're supposed to.
Right. I'm ready for you to figure it out and be normal. Ish.
But other than that, I'm okay. I'm okay, and then I'm tired as heck.
Girl.
And I'm okay, and I'm tired as heck. And I don't know if I blame that on, because I haven't been having FOMO like I told you around about last time. But allergy sometimes kicks in. So I know that when I go outside, I'm tired, but once I'm in the house, it's like I'm not tired anymore. So that is one of my allergy symptoms. And I did too have to go up on my, like, use different prescriptions and medications for my allergies. Because I don't know if it's, like I said, the pollen is getting stronger and getting mutants and stuff, or if it's my body's getting used to the medication. It's like, all right, this is regular now. It's part of the family. Right. So yeah, and yeah, I just gonna pray on it. But yeah, that's how I've been. I've been okay. Excited for the things that I have lined up for this year. No more invitations, please, because I cannot fit it in my schedule. I cannot afford it, to be honest. So don't have any more vacation days left. I got 2 left, which is a good thing. But you know, I'm excited, you know, about everything that's lined up for me to have some fun, because I haven't done anything since 2019. And we did go to Atlanta together in 2020, but that's home. So to me, I don't count that as like a adventure kind of thing. So I'm excited to go on some adventures in 2022. Join your bandwagon.
Right. To the traveling. Okay. Yes. Okay. We all deserve to be out and about and enjoying our lives.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm excited for this episode too.
Me too. Ooh. Yes. Tell them what it is, girl.
All right. So as we're going on into what we like to call the lovely rundown, first up in the show, we are going into the icebreaker. We're going to be breaking down a post, all right, that I found on Instagram.
Crazy.
About, you know, a man that was courting a woman in regards to how he felt that she should have responded to his actions. So we're gonna get into that as the icebreaker and give our opinions on what we think. And then going over into Suite 223, the lovely Yaya is going to be reciting a piece today. We haven't heard this poetic voice in a while, so I am excited to hear what she is going to be speaking today. Okay, then heading on over into the cab, grab your drink, grab something to eat. We are going to be talking about chivalry. All right, is it dead? Is it alive? Are these men out here doing what needs to be done? Can women be considered as chivalrous? Woo! We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it today. Make sure you tune in. Then we're heading over into our dorm story segment, where we are going to be sharing some stories in regards to chivalry experiences. And then, as you know, we are going to be going into community news as our last segment. So make sure you tune in all the way to the end so you know what's going on with Love Loud LLC, things that you should look out for, the question of the month, any projects that we are giving out. Just make sure you are tuned in so you know what's popping. Okay? All right. That's it. That's what's up. We here. And now, are you ready to continue on into our very next segment?
Let's go.
We heading on over to the icebreaker. I feel like this should
oh, that would be cute.
Like a nice little icebreaker sound of we breaking the ice. Let's go. What's up? We are in the icebreaker segment. See, I know it's new for you to hear my voice opening this up, but hey, this is what we do here. We flip it, script it, and rub it down, okay? And make it a little different. Because today in the icebreaker segment, I'm going to be reading a post that I found on on IG on the Shade Room, a guy posted a scenario of him asking for money from a woman that he was dating, and you know what? Why am I explaining it? Why don't I just read it?
That sounds not normal.
Anyway.
Well, it depends on what kind of guy we're talking about.
Right. So here we go.
Okay.
I asked this woman I've been talking to for a minute for $100. I get a, what do you need it for? Okay. When do I get it back? A whole bunch of questions. I planned a trip for us in the mountains in Colorado for 4 days. Hotel costs per night, $200. Whitewater rafting, $150 per person. Zip lining, $125 per person. Hot air balloon, $250 per person. SUV rental, $80 a day. Not to mention the food costs. I had all this covered. Just canceled everything and got my deposits back. I didn't need the $100. I was just seeing what type of response I get if I asked for it. I didn't ask, when do I get my money back when I was planning the vacation. I was just handling business. People don't think long term. Test failed. Ladies and gentlemen.
I have so many thoughts.
I have questions.
Yes, I have questions and thoughts.
Girl, go ahead and start, please.
Okay, so first I want to know if she knows that this was going to be planned or if it's a surprise. Second, I don't know what kind of zip line it costs $100-something per person. Like, that's a lot of money. Like,
right, I've never paid that much for zip line.
Yeah, like, okay, sir, are you being honest with your story? But we're gonna just go along with the story.
Right.
So yeah, is it a surprise? Does she know? Like, what part is that? Second, the occupations that they have. Like, a lot of times there's stories of if you ask somebody for $20, if you ask somebody for money, one person give you $1, one person give you $50. But that person that has $1, that's their only dollar. Like, which one are you more grateful for? Comparison. What if she only had $100 in her bank? Or like she had bills coming up and she definitely needed to know when she's gonna get her money back. What if she planned a trip before? Like, it's a lot of context that we need. But
it says they've been talking.
Oh, I missed that part.
For a minute.
What's a minute?
That's what I'm saying. What is a minute? Y'all been talking for a month. Y'all been talking for 6 months. Like, y'all been talking for a minute. Like, he didn't say
some days.
Like, y'all been talking. So, like, y'all clearly that doesn't say relationship. Y'all just been talking. So y'all still in some form of a dating stage, but you're not officially in a relationship, right? So if a guy I'm just talking to for a minute, with my terms of a minute, it's like a hot second, maybe like a month or two. You ask me for $100. If I got it, sure, I'll give it to you to spare. But I'm going to ask, like, hey, well, what do you need the $100 for? Like, of course, why wouldn't I ask? I'm just gonna be like, yeah, go ahead, take the $100.
No,
it don't work like that. If anybody asks me for a large amount of money, like, you want to borrow $100, I'm gonna ask, like, hey, well, what do you need it for? I'm gonna know what's going on.
And if you're saying borrow, I want to know when you're giving it back.
Right, you saying borrow. You ain't say, can I have?
Right.
Well, you're borrowing, that's a loan. When the loan, you pay it back. So when do you plan to give it back to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I let people borrow money, and I'm not usually like super pressed on like a hard timeline, but it's a matter of you letting me know that you're borrowing, which means you're going to give it back to me. So when do you plan to do that? Do you plan on paying me in increments? We doing a payment plan? Or, I just feel like it's not odd for somebody to ask, what do you need it for? It might be an ask of concern. Like, it might be something going on that you need that extra $100 that you can't afford, like, whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. It's not odd to ask that. I mean, I could be wrong. Somebody, please let us know in the comments if it's odd to ask why somebody is asking you for money. Right.
I think he's also doing like, well, I would do this, like monetary wise for you, and you can't even give me $100. It's dead. Why do you even have to test her?
Right.
That's a big concern too. When I was immature, when I would start dating people, I would think, oh, let me act like I'm in a bind, or like do stuff like, because I would want to see how that person would respond. I would think those things. I never did it, but that's what that sounds like. Like, you're being immature and testy. Like, why are you even doing that to that person? I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems. I know there are people that do, test people on a certain level when they're, in this dating phase to like figure out like, how can I trust you? How are you going to react in certain situations? How are you going to respond? I get it to a certain extent. I don't believe in testing people. I believe in
just living life.
Exactly. Living life, going about your business, and learning about people as you're getting to know them through this dating process. I don't feel like you would necessarily have to go through this testing stage of like, let me set up this scenario to see how they're going to respond to it.
Mhm.
Like, I don't feel like you have to do that. And if you have to do that, you probably shouldn't be dating. That's just my opinion. If you have to feel like you have to test the next person in regards to figuring out whether or not you want to continue, dating them. You shouldn't have to do that. Please don't test me. If you want to date me, you don't have to test me, okay? I don't need to be tested.
Right.
All right, shoot. I'm done with school. I don't want to go back. No more tests.
Would you be bummed if you were the woman? Because it's honestly hard to respond to it because there's so many questions that we have. But if this was your scenario, you read this from the person that you were dating, what would your response be?
I dodged a bullet. I feel like I would have died. I honestly, I probably would have been like, well, damn, like, had I known, let's just take the scenario of me knowing that this was being planned and him asking to borrow $100. I probably would have been thinking in my mind, do you need the $100 because you invested so much money into this trip that you can't afford something else? Do you need $100 towards the trip? Because for me, like, depending on what it is, like, I wouldn't going on a trip, I'll put in money on the trip, like, for whatever it may be, but not you being irresponsible and needing $100.
That's because you put my point to say that
you putting all this money into the trip, and now you need to borrow $100 to pay a bill.
I need my man to be responsible with his funds.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a difference. Like, if it comes into like for the trip, yeah, I'll put some money in on the trip. We both going. Why not? You know what I'm saying? You paid all of that. I'll pay for all the meals. I'll pay for all the food. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a matter of, how we divvying up these funds. But if you're being irresponsible, you need $100 for something else that has nothing to do with this trip at all. If I know about it, nah, bruh. How about you take some money out of that trip and use that $100 towards what you really need?
Not go ziplining because that's a lot of money.
Right? You can do that for something else. Yeah. So no, absolutely not. So in that case, but if had I not known, I just happened to see this posted after he cut me off or whatever, and I saw that, I honestly would have felt like I dodged a bullet. Like, well, it wasn't meant for me to be with you. I don't want to be with somebody like that.
Right.
And no,
I'm
good.
I honestly think that a lot of women, possibly, depending on the age and maturity level, probably would have been mad and try to get them back and say, oh, because there are some women who just like are vultures and just want to receive gifts. Which is probably why he probably been through something like that and wanted to test the next one, because he had a woman in the past that kind of came off as if all she wanted him for was his money, or probably something like that. Right. So that's his protected. Right. But for me, I go back to one of the first questions that I asked, which is, he could be in corporate making doodle money, and she could be working somewhere else where she's not making as much. So $100 means a lot to her to just let go. But even me with my salary, I'm, like you said, I still want to know whether I have the 100 or I don't. I still want to know because I need to get to know this person that I'm dating. Exactly. Like, what do you need it for? This is an emergency type of situation, or like we said, are you being irresponsible with your phone? I need to find this post so I can read the comments. I will send it to you. Wild. Okay. Let us know how y'all feel about this post in the comments. Yes. Do you test in your dating relationships? Let us know that too. What test do you have, if you test at all? What test do you incorporate into your dating lifestyle? Yes. Because I want to know. Yeah, we both want to know. I'm interested in finding out. All right, that was a good icebreaker. Yeah. I like that. We really broke the ice. We're gonna get some sound effects. I'm gonna give me a sound machine. I'm not playing. We're gonna upgrade. I'm gonna give you a sound machine. It's gonna be some drum rolls, some ice breaking, some laughing, some fart sounds. I don't know. A buzz. I don't know. It's gonna have some fun sounds on it though. Okay. We need that too. All right, Panty. I'm ready to hear this piece you got for us. I'm nervous because this is video, so like I can't be like, oh, let's start over. But here we go. Here we go. Heading over into Suite 2.
2, 3.
Hey y'all, we're in a Sweet 223 segment, which is our poetry segment. I'm kind of nervous because I don't think I've shared a poem since we've been virtual. So I'm telling myself, just take it slowly, Yaya. Take a little swig of water so my mouth isn't dry.
You got this, girl. You gonna be all right. Give people what they came for.
Okay, so I went to my notes section and found this poem. It's called Is This Love? Is this love, or am I simply fond of you? Because to me, you're doing all of the things I ever wanted a man to do. But perhaps I'm a little confused about my feelings. I don't know. I never carried so much joy before. A feeling of excitement, a feeling of peace with someone whom I adore, a connection with a man with whom more emotions and more places I look forward to explore. I've learned to let down my walls, but there's still a door. Daily, you take strolls on my heart, and I know that you must be tired because through my gushy maze, your footprints remain. I'm in this, committed, 100%. But sometimes I wonder if this is really it.
Mm, yes, snap it up. I have been there. I can relate. Is this really it?
Right.
I'm in this. You in this. It seems like you in this.
Unless you ask me for $100.
Right. You asked me for $100, you must be in this. So
Right.
You think I'm rich, but I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed hearing your voice spit once again. So please let the people know what inspired Is This Love.
I've been on this dating journey for so long, and I've come across different people that, like, even if it's like an inkling of joy, I'll get excited for it. But then when it becomes like a big package of joy, I kind of get like scared and I want to retrieve. So like I do question myself when I get into a relationship situation, like the dating lasts longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this what it's supposed to look like? Is this too good to be true? Is this not enough? Like there's no meter that I can test it and say, beep, 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 this is the one for you, or like anything like that. But just like many of our guests have been saying, I have this habit of when I go through stuff, I pull out, if it's a paper in front of me, I pull out my paper. If it's me having time to just go to my notes section in my phone, I'll do that. I remember I used to text you quotes because I'm driving and I can't do anything. But I don't know the date of when I wrote that. I did add some lines today, or like revise the 10th today. But just dating is just not like, there's no certainty in it until you get that feeling of like, yo, this feels like it could be it. But I feel like I assume there's always still like a question, like, do all couples argue like this? Do all couples go through financial troubles? Are all couples having troubles with the other people's family not accepting them? Like, it's just like different hurdles. But I guess you decide what your hurdle is. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know if there's a couple out there that goes through every single day, like 100% of not being annoyed. Because people be like, "Oh, that's my favorite headache." Like, we all go through some stuff, but that's where that phone comes from. Like, you're constantly on my mind. I'm excited about you, but I still have that wonder sometimes, like, like this feel mad good, but like, is this my final destination?
No, for real. It's that's real. Like that's simply how I can put it. Like it's real, especially like when you've been on the dating journey for so long and having that feeling, and then it gets pulled away, and then going through it again, and you have that feeling again, and then it gets pulled away, and then it kind of becomes like this cycle of like, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling good, and now it's just gone all of a sudden. So then it kind of, how you said, you have this wall up, and then you meet this person, and you kind of start breaking those walls down a little bit.
Brick
But
by
behind
brick.
that wall, there's something else there. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you might have known you got this layer down, but look, now you got to get through this steel door.
Right.
Right? Do you know the code? You know the passcode.
Right.
Like, how you gonna get up in here? You gonna try to climb
Does
over?
the fingerprint match?
Right. Does the fingerprint match? Like, do you know the way to get through this part of me? You know? And from my own experiences, I can understand how, like, after each, you know, part of dating these different men and just realizing, okay, I'm not gonna deal with that the next time. I know that I know what to accept, what not to accept, what I deserve, you know, what I'm not going to allow to happen next time. And not even necessarily comparing the last person, but just knowing like these certain actions I'm not going to stand for. You know, it's just a matter of like learning how you want to go through this dating journey until you do end up with that person that you both decide like this is who I want to do life with, you know? It's just a cycle until it's no longer that cycle anymore. And
until
then
the spin stops spinning.
Until the spin stops spinning, and then you start that new journey. Right. With the one.
Wow. Is love isn't definite, and it's not like I said, fingerprint. There's not like a code or anything, but it's like a feeling, I guess, that you get. Like, even though I'm upset with you, I'm still happy to wake up with you this morning. Or even though like we're mad, I want to talk it through because I don't want us to be upset with each other. So, yep. It's a conscious decision that you have to make every single day. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure y'all can relate to it. Okay. Right. Very, very, very relatable. Very relatable. Thanks. Loved it, and I'm sure the people did too. Simple but relatable. Like Nadia said, it's good to have different types of poems. You have long poems, you have short poems, you have elaborate poems, you have straight to the point poems. Right. You have something that's deep. You know, you're like, damn it. Then you have something that's just like, okay. You have some deep like Ayo. We got some simple like the one that I just They all have a message. Simple yet meaningful. Yes. But yes. That concludes our Sweet 223. And now we are going to head over to Hot Topics. Yes. I'm kind of nervous because she ain't did it in a while. Right. Let's go, y'all. Okay, now we are in our cash segment, which is where we talk about our hot topic. And today we are talking about something that may be in the grave, but we're not sure. It's chivalry. Is it dead? What is it? We don't know. Let's find out. Let's talk about it. All right. So first of all, we want to know what chivalry is. So Monie and I looked it up, and it was kind of crazy because, like, when we're reading the definition, it's like, wait, what? Okay, let's look at the Urban Dictionary version of that because Okay, so we're gonna start with the proper historical definition of chivalry, which is a noun. The medieval knightly system with its religious, moral, and social code. Knights, noblemen, and horsemen collectively do something together. That's for that. And then another definition says the combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, especially courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and a readiness to help. This is what killed us. The weak. To help the weak. I ain't weak. Like, you trying to say women? I want you to open the door. So, damsel in distress, though. The weak. Yeah. But we had to look up the urban definition. So the modern definition of chivalry means men behaving courteously towards women. That's where they left it. So they did put examples. Do you want me to read that, or you just want to get into the topic? We can get into like a couple of little things of what they said could be, you know, chivalry. Give it to the people. So men behaving courteously towards women. Examples are holding the door for them, offering them your jackets when it's cold. Those are examples of chivalry. Many women consider chivalry as an art that's lost. Nice word, fellas. You just let it just right. Falls to the wayside. That's why a lot of times you hear people say chivalry is dead. Dang, but some people get offended when like women we say that it's like always a hot topic or a debate when that comes up. So let's compare and contrast the definitions that we saw. So we have the damsel in distress, weak person that a knight, an honorable nobleman is saving and rescuing. And then we have basically just to be courteous to women. So
I mean, in comparison, it does make sense. Like as far as then the knight in shining armor saving the damsel in distress.
Rapunzel.
Let's hear your ear, girl. Let that man upstairs.
To save you.
But in comparison to like modern day, like, you know, man leading, head of household, knowing how to, you know, to guide, lead, and allowing the woman to be, what's the word that I want?
Submissive?
I mean, yes, submissive, but not necessarily submissive, just as like a partner, you know, but allowing that man to lead the way per se, you know. I think chivalry still holds value, but I don't think it's as present today because it's not magnified, honestly. I don't oftentimes see still like men pulling out chairs. Occasionally I'll see like a man opening a door, but there's a lot of the time where I'm walking behind a man and that man does not hold the door for me.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm standing right. Like, why you not gonna hold the door for me?
Right.
But it's also like a courtesy thing, and it can also do with how you are raised. I do feel like, you know, back in the day, not necessarily our era, but like maybe our parents, grandparents' era of more so having that chivalrous aspect of courting a woman, opening doors and things like that.
Right. I just don't like the word weak. But because even women back then, like when I think of weak, I think of feeble. Like I can't do it. I cannot do it on my own. So that makes me think that you're helping people who are who are unable to do for themselves. So if I like don't have a limb to open the door, then you're opening the door, opposed to the modern definition of just being courteous to a person. Like you see somebody coming behind you, then you hold the door open for them, or you see a woman, like you're on a date with a woman and it's a little cold and you got on a full blazer and she has her arms up because she's trying to look cute for you, then you pass her the jacket because it's like you see her cold. So that's just a nice thing to do to anybody, whether they're handicapped or whether they can think for themselves.
Exactly.
So do you think that chivalry is dead?
I don't think it's necessarily dead, but I don't think it's not presented the same. Like you don't see it as often, and maybe it's just my eyes and they're not as open as they should be. But I don't see many chivalrous acts, or what I would consider a chivalrous act. It's like I was saying before, like I've been walking behind men that do not hold doors or don't hold the elevator. Like come on now, I know. or like standing up and a man doesn't offer his seat, like in a crowded space or like something like that. Like oftentimes that does not happen anymore. Like yes, I'm a woman. I'm capable, you know, of doing certain things, but at the same time, it still runs through my mind when I don't see I guess I don't see a man meet the expectation of what I would think a chivalrous act is. It's kind of like
really
dang, but it's still nice. Like oftentimes, like if you know, it seems as if like I have a heavy bag or a box, like a man will still offer to carry that. Like that's considered a chivalrous act. Or like walking like grocery bags like out to like a car, things like that. Like that's a chivalrous act. Like I've had that happen, but I guess it doesn't happen as often as you would think. It still happens, so it's not dead. It's just I don't see it a lot.
I would say it's not dead. It's extinct. It's becoming extinct. Not as many men or people are being chivalrous to one another. I have gone on dates where it was just second nature to the man to we're getting into what chivalrous could be. So like I remember one day I was about to touch the door and he was like, you don't touch doors when you with me, and then he opened the door. he wouldn't pull out my chair, but because most restaurants have booths and stuff, and I
Yeah.
like the booths. So like standing up and letting me sit down first before different things. If I go to the restroom, like sometimes the person will stand up, or like greet, like if we come into the room, excuse me, to stand up when I'm walking into the room. Just like those are things that's chivalrous. Also for me, it would be if we're walking down a block. Most times I'm not going to say anything, but if we're walking down a block, you should be walking. I'm short, so walking as slow, fast as I am. Like I think I'm walking fast, but I tend to date people that's a little bit taller or taller than me.
Got them
So,
long legs.
so they gotta slow down because, and then also make sure that I'm in the inside. I'm not gonna tell you, but it's for my protection. If a car comes by and could possibly hit me or something like that, for my mental protection too, because I don't think that's cute that you walking on the inside and I'm on the outside. Just being honest, and then also walk my pace, because if you're walking ahead of me, somebody could come and swipe me away, or something can happen to me, and you miles ahead of me walking, and you don't even know what happened.
Right.
Like protect me. You're supposed to be the man.
Or like just being like in a crowded space, holding my hand and leading the way, like allowing me to like follow you. Like don't leave me behind.
Yeah.
Like, are you with me or not?
Right.
Like, are we in this together? Don't lose me.
Right. Even if you're my friend, it's not even about like you're dating me or you're my man or anything like that. But if it's a guy friend, to be honest, I will look for those same things regarding the walking. And now when we get to chivalry, as far as like paying the bill, like the man should at least offer or pull out his wallet and stuff.
Right.
Then okay, I don't expect my friends to pay for my bills, but when it comes to the walking and the opening of the door, I do look for those for like Demola, and y'all know who y'all are. Y'all my real life friends. I do look for those. But I wonder, does it depend on where you live, where the chivalry is? Like meaning, like if you're from Jersey versus if you're from Florida or Cali or Texas.
Partially, because in regards to that question, it makes me think of Southern hospitality.
Yeah.
But I largely think it depends on how you are raised. If you're not brought up in a household that's teaching you of these qualities of how to be chivalrous or how to be courteous or how to just be a kind person in general, then you're not going to even know how to handle yourself in these different situations.
Right.
Like you might not have never seen a man bring a woman flowers, watch a man open the door or pull out a chair or offer to carry anything for anybody or help a lady across the street or anything like that. You might have never grown up with those things. Like people that have grown up in households that have never seen a happy married couple or never seen a married couple at all.
Right.
I think that has an effect on how we just are as people. If you don't see certain things or learn certain things, you just won't know how to do them.
Right.
So
I have an example to follow up there.
Exactly.
I would say that there are some people up here who were born up here, in the north, who are chivalrous, but I do see it most in the south. Like I remember what stole my heart and what made me want to go to school in Atlanta was the Southern hospitality, not from just men, but from women as well, like making me feel welcome. Up here, we walk down the street, and when we see people coming our way, we put our head down, act like we're on the phone, act like we're rubbing our eyes to do these things when we're walking past one another. But in the South, I'm not sure how it is now, but back in 2008 and back then, when you walk down the street, you greet the person that you're walking past, and it's just, as a northerner, it's just so ideal. Like, do I know you? Like, why are you speaking to me? Yeah. So it is. It's not easy to break into being like having manners or being kind in that way, or holding the door for a stranger. But like, if you wouldn't want the door slammed in your face, don't slam it in the next person's face.
Exactly. But some people don't think like that. Like, but even then, some people don't even pay attention to their surroundings to even know that there's somebody behind them that needs the door.
That too.
Like I literally had bags in my hands and somebody at the door in front of me, and they just let it close, and I'm standing there with my bags. Like, so you're not gonna hold the door for me? And then I'm like, all right, maybe they didn't see me. Then the other part of me is like, I know you saw me with these back. But it's like, you know what? I can't be mad at somebody not doing that for me. I can't expect people to do what I would do for others.
Right.
I have to remind myself of that too. So it's just kind of like, I will continue to hold the door. I will continue to help people where I see fit. But at the same time, it's just crazy. Like how you know what you would do for others when you look at other people and you're just like, how could you be so rude? It's crazy.
I gotta be so rude. Even the opposite too. I know we're not talking about manners, but manners and chivalry kind of go together. Yeah. But like the opposite of I'm holding the door for you, you just walk by. Like, I used to be like, sometimes I still do it now. Like, you're welcome. Like, I didn't have to stand here and hold the door. I could have just stood there and held the door so you can catch it. But I'm holding the door for you to walk through, and you just on your phone or just nonchalantly walking through. Like, say something. You ain't gotta give me $1, but dang.
I'm not the door woman.
Right. I don't work here. I got my Gucci. Like, I ain't got no Gucci, yo. What would you do if you went out with someone or you were dating someone who wasn't chivalrous per your standards?
Well, I appreciate you asking that question because I have definitely been on a date with someone who was not up to my chivalrous standards. I stopped talking to him. I cut him off. I had to ask him. I literally asked, "Who raised you?" And the only reason I did that was because
I don't know what happened.
We were walking. We were walking down the street, and I had told this person, I was like, I'm not much, and I was like, I wanted to go out, because I said that I would. I was like, you know what, I can meet you up for a drink, but I don't want to go too far, and I don't want to do too much walking. I want to go to a spot that's nearby between here and here. He said, cool. When we went to a certain place, he was like, first thing that turned me off, he was like, nah, we can't go here. They got them up in there. I was like, and he was talking, it was like 2 gay men. And I was like, oh, no. What you mean them up in there? And he was like, nah, it's too crowded with them up in there. I'm just like,
wow.
I was like, absolutely not. I'm like, are you?
I'm going. Don't me.
With me, I was just like, okay, moving right on. I was like, okay, whatever. So I was like, I know another spot. So don't know why I continue, but as we're walking down the street, this man is walking on the inside of the street. So after about like 2 minutes, I'm like, why are you walking on the inside? Why don't you walk on the outside of the street? He's like, why would I do that?
Oh, you tried.
I said, you've never heard of a man walking on the outside of the street with a woman while she walks on the inside? He was like, no. I was like, okay, I was like, at this point, I'm about to walk home because there's no reason why I should be associated with you right now. Yeah. My father would disown me knowing he was walking with me like this, and I allowed it to happen. This is ridiculous. And I was like, the next time you walk with the woman, you make sure that you walk with her on the inside to make her feel protected. I was like, who raised you? Because it's clear that you have not learned the proper way of making sure that a woman feels safe and protected. It was just, it literally blew my mind.
Sound machine was here. Wow. That is, and you try, so it's like one thing if you, I don't know how people don't know, but that's my own upbringing. It's one thing if you don't know, but he wasn't even open to understanding. Like, it's like, wow, like stuck in your own.
And then he didn't even decide to do it.
Switch over.
He didn't even switch over the sides. I was just like, wow, okay, yeah, nah, this ain't gonna work, right? It's not gonna work. It was a huge turn off. Mm-hmm. It was already a turn off. He was like, no, we can't go in there. There's too many of them in there. Yeah. And I was just like, okay, maybe I could try to understand this perspective of who them is. Right, maybe we can talk about it. I was willing to even to have that conversation to just, dig in and find out a little more about this person. It wasn't even worth me doing that. We didn't make it to the next spot. It was, and then he was trying to be weird, hold my hand. I think it was literally the first time we was going out. I don't want to hold your hand. Yeah. You just met me. Why are you trying to hold my hand walking down the street? Without even asking me if I'm comfortable with doing something like that. No, I don't want to hold your hand. Right. You don't even walk me on the right side of the street, but you want to hold my hand? Weirdo. No. Yeah. Absolutely not.
What would I do if I went out on a date with somebody who wasn't chivalrous? I would make it apparent to them. So at first I would just monitor and pay attention and see what happens normally. So see if people go for the door, to hold the door or whatever. And then later I would say something while it's happening. So for example, if we walk into the restaurant together and he allows me to touch that, I'm still gonna go for it. So I want to see if you're gonna stop me. I guess that's my testing from the icebreaker. So I do test, I guess. But I'm still gonna go for it. But is he gonna reach over or say, no, hold on, I got the door? Is he gonna pull out my seat? Even if you don't pull out my sweetheart, let me sit down first. Like those things. If I'm struggling to take off my jacket, is he gonna assist me with taking off my jacket? So then like going out, if I see him stop for like don't reach for the door, I may say something or I may walk slower just to like kind of like you're supposed to be doing these things. I have had it happen where I was dating someone and like the things that I said earlier that I don't like, they will walk faster than me. They will always be on, like, it will switch from him being on the inside to the outside to the inside to the outside because you know you're crossing streets, you're turning, so it switches. But after this person, after I did say something like, you're supposed to make sure that you're walking slower, they weren't like that person. They were like, why? And I said, because like we just walked past a big crowd of guys and anything could have happened in that big crowd. Like I was literally kind of a little nervous walking past this crowd in New York, and you're like walking your regular speed through, and I'm walking my regular speed, but my speed is slower, and anything could have happened in that. And I did not.
You would have turned around when he was seeing me.
Right, and I did not feel safe in that moment. So that part, and then also the in and out. So, but afterwards, I did notice that person changed their behavior with that. So the Yaya way, I guess, would be to observe, to see what their norm is, and then if I like the person, I'll say something. If I don't, then that'll be a reason of why I just scratch them off the list.
You know, sometimes for me, I think me just not even thinking sometimes, like there have been times where I've like just been walking and I went ahead and opened the door, just not thinking because I'm just so, it's my normal thing to just open the door for myself. So there have been times where I would open the door, he would grab the door and allow me to go in. I'd be like, okay, thank you. I honestly was about to hold the door for you, not thinking like I'm just literally just opening the door. But I must say, like when a man has recognized to know to put me on the inside and shit, like we'll be walking and then he'll like touch my shoulder and move me on over. I'll be like, okay, you know what you protecting me.
Even as far as like a lot of people don't know, but the man is always supposed to be facing the door when you go out to eat.
My dad taught me that. My dad will never not face the door. He's like, no, you sit over here. I'm gonna face the door.
So one time I went out to eat with someone and I was like, oh, I went straight for it because it looked like the comfy spot and like I could see everything more. And then the guy that I was with kind of like sat catty cornered in front of me. And then after a while, I was like, I didn't notice the behavior until after I said, oh snap, I just realized you should have been sitting here because like you're not. And he was like, yeah, that's why I'm sitting this way. And I was like, oh. So like he was being nice to let me sit where I was so excited. I was really excited, y'all. I was so excited to sit in that seat. So he was like kind to let me sit there, but he also made sure he adjusted.
Yeah.
Even he was kind of uncomfortable because it was a booth.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like his chair or anything. So he was like sitting like in the corner so that he could still do his quote unquote job or due diligence of making sure that we're okay in that space. So like it's different ways to go for it.
It is.
Wish that people knew because to me it's a safety thing.
Yeah, that's why I know automatically. Like when I go out on a date, just by nature, I let him sit towards the door and have my back towards the door.
Yeah.
Shout out to my father.
Right. So, do you think it's acceptable for women to be chivalrous towards men?
I think so in certain instances. Because like we said before, chivalry is just a form of being courteous and kind. Like I don't see a reason why I can't offer my assistance with something. Like, you know, you ain't got to carry all the bags. Like I can carry, you know, one or two, you know, you don't have to carry all of the weight, you know, I don't mind helping out. I can be of assistance. I feel like as far as like men and women, when it comes to when you're dating and trying to find that person, like you should find somebody that you could be able to lean on, have somebody that can support you. And that comes with that. Like you want somebody that's kind and there for you and able to, you know, for you to be able to recognize like, this is somebody that's got my back. There's chivalry in that for somebody to have your back. I also believe like there's chivalry in making sacrifices. I think that's included in that as well, in regards to being able to just hold off on things that you may have wanted to do for yourself, in regards to making sure that your partner or whoever you're dating is happy to a certain extent for whatever it is they wanted to do. Or compromising. I feel like there's chivalry in compromise.
Yeah.
You know, it's just another form of being courteous and allowing space for that dating relationship to grow, because you're not going to, the way you came into this dating relationship you're not going to continue to be that same person, because you're going to grow through it. And I think it comes from learning how to adjust and being able to be a nice person, like just in general, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and not making it as if like you need to get something out of this, you know.
Yeah, I agree. So for this, I want to just speak about like a partnership or dating, because I talked about holding the door for people, and you talked about walking the elderly lady across the street, and somebody drops something, you help them. Yes, that's just my nature to do that. But when it comes to dating, now say nah. Let me just kidding. I think for me, yes. I'm not in public though gonna go for the door or things like that. But if he goes grocery shopping for us, and then he comes home and I see him downstairs, if I'm not doing anything, I'm probably gonna help him with the groceries. Or once he gets upstairs or whatever, I don't know what the situation is, because I'm single. Like I'm not married, I'm not living with anybody. In that aspect. So like if he comes upstairs, and then I will most likely help him put the groceries away or whatever it is away. When it comes to going out to eat, in most cases, the person that, like, if I'm out on a date, the man pays or the man takes care of it. But sometimes I like to pay too.
Right.
I'm just a giving person. Sometimes I like to take care of things, usher trading places. Like I want to be able to, do that for my person. I don't want to I want him to feel special, as special as he has me feeling. So if you're paying for all the meals that we go out, dang, now I want to cook for you, because I want you to I want you to know that I could throw down. Like it's not just a restaurant. It's like, oh, you did this for me on my birthday. Like I still kind of have that competitive thing. So like, dang, I want to treat you as special, like for your birthday as well.
That's happened to me before. Like it's been a point where like he was paying for everything. So basically like I had to strong arm and be like, no, I'm paying for this, or like had to set something up as a surprise. Like, no, I already paid for it. We did. No, don't pay me back. I'm not telling you how much it costs. Right. I already took care of it.
Right.
But I appreciate you asking.
Yeah, it's just wanting to do that. And that's like the example I said before. If I see you struggling with your jacket, I'm gonna help you. I'm not just gonna let you struggle, because like I said, I used to word partner. Not just like my little flame. Like, girl, like we in this together. I'm not about to have you looking silly.
Exactly.
Struggling to take off your jacket. Like you part of my image now. Like I gotta
like I look good. You damn sure gotta look good. Okay, I can't have you be looking all crazy.
Right. Just different things. Okay. Sorry, y'all. My mom is calling. It's just like my phone is on Do Not Disturb, but she's on my favorites list. All right. Did your father or another male figure treat you with chivalry? How do you know what to expect from men that you're dating or people that's in your life? So was it an example that your padre like told you, listen, Simone, this is what you take from men, or did he show you through example?
I would definitely say a mix of both, and I would say a lot through. I think mostly through. I don't know. It might be a little bit of half and half. I don't know. He showed me a lot through action, though. Like as far as like how I said before, like always letting me know, like, no, he sits and he's towards the door. He can see who's coming in and out and be aware of, of the surroundings of what's happening. Always, since I was a little girl, like told me about him facing the door and always making sure that me and my sisters were walking on the inside of the sidewalk. That was like, what are you doing? Get over here. Right, probably push. You know what you're supposed to be. What are you doing? But I would say so, yes. And even when, like, even though my father sometimes like I might ask for something and he might grunt about whatever. But at the same time, it's to a certain extent, like we are kind of spoiled. So it's almost like to a certain extent, bless the man I end up with, because we are daddy's girls to a certain extent, where it's just kind of like he may say no, but at the end of the day, he probably still surprised us with it or came through some kind of way with what we needed, So just kind of like, or asking something like, Dad, can I have? All right, fine. But then it's also time I know when a no is a no, and why a no is a no. So I don't always expect to receive the thing that I asked for, but I also do know that when he was able, he did, and I always knew that I was going to be taken care of. From both my fathers, like just knowing that if I need something, I'm going to be taken care of. Like it's not a matter of maybe I can do this for you. Like no, if I'm struggling and I need assistance, I feel like those are qualities that I would want to have in a partner, like making sure that I am taken care of regardless. Like you mad at me, but you still gonna make sure that I am good and I am taken care of. You are going to be patient with me in certain situations. You are going to talk to me in a certain tone. You are not going to get rowdy with me and raise your voice at me. You're going to know how to speak to me.
We don't do that.
We don't do that. We are going to know just how to how to get through it, like, especially when knowing how to speak to me, because I think there's something very what's the word that I want? Very attractive in a man that knows, even when upset, knows how to speak.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So yes, I respectful too.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't really, as you guys know, my dad wasn't always there. So the first thing that comes to my mind is I think he was like my 7th grade. No. Was he a high school teacher? Maybe 9th grade teacher. Anyway, Kwame Christian was one of my teachers, and in and out of lesson plans, he would teach us just life lessons. So like, ladies, make sure that you're tucking your jewelry when you walk downtown. Make sure you always carry your keys in your hand like this. So if a man steps up to you, you can do and then he would tell the boys, make sure that you walk on the outside. Like he would just tell us like your woman's worth and why these things are important. And then when it does come down to my dad, like when I am around him, he always makes sure I never touch the car door. I never touch the door to the restaurant or the house or anything. Like he's always grabbing the door to let me in and out. And then if it's raining, he makes sure he's holding the umbrella over me. Maybe he'll like put his jacket over his head or the thing, but I don't even touch the umbrella when it comes to my father when I'm around him. When it comes to like I went last year, like I told you guys, to meet up with my dad so that we could have a conversation, etc., etc. I didn't even look at the reservation for the hotel. Like he handled all those things. So in his nature of like what I see him do and how he treated me, is like, oh, I would like this from a partner. So with Mr. Christian, it was like what he taught us verbally, like what you expect from a person, blah blah blah. But then from my father, it was examples of what he did to let me know that these things are what you like. It's nice to have this kind of treatment. And then I guess everything else comes from like maybe conversations that I've heard around. I can't pinpoint it exactly, but do I know what chivalry is? Yes. Do I know what to expect? Yes. Do I know what I want? Yes. Do I know like some things may be like, I don't need you to stand up every time I walk to the table, but some things like I like if I'm going on dates, I tend to like to drive up to the place by myself because I don't want every man to know where I live. So I do like, if you're there before me, if you do get a table, then to stand up when I'm approaching the table, something like that. But yeah, I guess I learned from those two people in those different ways.
Yes, we've learned from men in our lives. So fellas, if you are listening, You know what? Matter of fact, just comment down below and let us know the chivalrous thing that you do for women. That's what I want to know. What do you consider as chivalrous things that you do aside from paying for meals?
Right.
What do you consider chivalrous in your dating lifestyle? Okay. That's what I want to know. And women, let us know what you consider exactly from your chivalrous man.
And if a person isn't chivalrous on the first, second, or third date, do you cut them off, or are you open to teaching them and seeing if they're receptive? Like, I'm open. I've taught and I was receptive. He was receptive. Monie tried to teach, and that one person, it was a no. But we accept what we accept. So I'm glad that you didn't accept that, because you know what you want.
That wouldn't have worked out anyway. No, thank you. I know how to dodge bullets. Like, another bullet dodge.
And that's it for our chivalry segment.
Yes.
Keep saying chivalry segment. Oh my God, that's it for the cast. Our topic segment.
The tea was hot.
Right. We're gonna move on over to our next segment, which is
dorm stories.
Ching ching. Let's go.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? So today, in our dorm stories segment, we are going to be discussing chivalry from an article in the New York Times. It is called "Chivalry is a Virtue and You Should Aspire to." Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yes, I memorized the title, y'all. So we're going to take some excerpts from this article from the New York Times, and Yaya is going to do the honor of reading it, and we're going to discuss our thoughts.
Yes.
Take it away, baby.
Okay. So you got it kind of, but it's called "Chivalry is a Virtue We Should All Aspire to" by Emily Smith. It's some parts of the New York Times that I wanted to read, which says, "Being good, being noble is also at the heart of chivalry. As a society, we can agree that certain types of behaviors are better than others. It is, for instance, better to hold the door open for a woman than to let it slam in her face. It is better to give up your seat to someone in need rather than let that person stand in your stead." Okay, rhyme. "It is better to forego a late night cab when a stranger with young children needs it more. Chivalry is, as Hartford's Harvey Mansfield might say, a manly virtue. But that does not mean that a woman cannot be chivalrous too. The essence of chivalry is self-sacrifice. The essence of chivalry is self-sacrifice."
Oh, can you say it one more time for the people in the back?
The essence of chivalry is self-sacrifice. Yes. Whether or not we name that selfishness, chivalry, the compassion that stands behind it is something we should celebrate.
And I agree, especially with the last part, as far as it being selfless. Right. Because I was saying earlier how, as far as being, if women can be chivalrous, also I think it comes from that part of being able to sacrifice, compromise, in regards to what it means to be a nice person, what it means to be courteous, right. What it means to give something of yourself that's bigger than you, in regards to be able to, give to other people.
Let me give an example. So if I'm living with you, or we're sharing a hotel or something like that, man and woman, I think it's chivalrous for a man to allow the woman to shower first. Unless there's like a schedule where he has to go out early or whatever, but that's what should be done. Now that unless part is a woman being chivalrous to a man. If I know you're going to hang out with your boys, or you got something to do or whatever, I'm not going to be selfish and say, well, I always take my shower at oh no, go ahead, babe, or go ahead, whoever I'm sharing space with. I know you got such and such to do, so I'm not gonna be selfish and just say, well, I wanted to shower first. You should have got up at 3 o'clock because I'm gonna be in there at 7. Like, no, go ahead, take your shower, blah blah blah.
Right. I most definitely agree. And I also agree that it being just um, different types of ways of being good or being considered to be a nice person, because not everybody is going to do the same thing.
Right.
You know, just because one person does one thing a certain way, somebody's going to do it another way. Like sometimes somebody might not even notice that somebody dropped something on the ground, but
Right.
that other person did.
Right.
You know, or like I was saying earlier, that person that didn't leave the door open, they probably didn't see that person coming. Sometimes people just be in their own world, to be honest. You know, everybody has their days.
Yeah.
But there's always, I always believe there's always a kind person around. There's always somebody that's going to be considerate, you know, and that's what I can appreciate. I always try to think about the brighter side or see like the good in everyone. Everybody got a little kind somewhere, you know what I'm saying? A little a form of being considerate to other people. I don't think that everybody's just straight, just flat out rude, period. I've never met a person like that. Like in some form or fashion, they were considerate to someone. It may not have been me.
Right.
But they were courteous to someone in some form or fashion. I do believe that everybody has a sense of kindness within them.
Right.
So, I mean, it would be a beautiful world if everybody was kind to everybody, you feel me? But it just don't work like that. It's not the way of the world. But I can ultimately agree overall that yes, men can be chivalrous, but women can also do the same thing. It's just in regards to how you choose to be courteous.
Right. I agree.
She agrees with me, guys. Anything else you want to add to this dorm story segment of chivalry between men and women?
No, I just I wonder if it's, like I said, it's not dead, it's extinct, or it's not seen as much. So I wonder what's gonna be happening moving forward. Is chivalry something that's gonna be an art that's taught, or is it just gonna continue to die down and just,
you know, honestly, it would be nice if it was an art that's taught. Because you know how they have those classes. I can't remember what they're called
etiquette
right now.
classes where you
Yes, thank you. And teach you how to eat and where everything go on the table. I don't know if they still do those. If not, I think that they should. But there should also be some chivalrous points to that too. Because even in that, they were teaching men how to pull out chairs for women and things like that. Maybe they.
That's like. That makes me think of like debutantes.
Yes, that's the word I was trying to think of. The debutantes. I don't know if they call them men, but having like learning the etiquette. So yeah, I do think if it is extinct, it needs to be brought back.
Yeah, but even classes like that may be cool, but also like from a parent to children, or from teachers or mentors or whoever to the people that's coming up of what's proper and what's acceptable. Not acceptable because people accept less, but what chivalry is.
Right. Hey, it may just be our generation's responsibility to pass that on down, and hopefully within, you know, the next few centuries or years.
Like, it's so cute when you go to a store and like a little kid holds the door for you. It's like, oh, that's so nice.
Right.
You learning.
Everybody's raising this young man right.
Right. And young girl too.
Knowing their manners. Like I've met some young children, they say thank you. They say Mr., Mrs., ma'am, you know. I'm like, come on with the manners. Somebody's raising you right.
Right.
But yeah, I do agree that it should definitely be more in the forefront. It's just because it's not that it doesn't happen. It's just not seen as often. I would love to always see men pulling out chairs for women and consistently holding the door.
Even just the walking, because honestly, I keep going back to that because I do get turned off. Not just me, but when I see a man and a woman, I don't care if it's friends, brother and sister, whatever, a man and a woman, whenever I see the woman on the outside, I just be like, I don't turn up my nose, but I just be like,
Like, no, if you want to say something, why are you walking on that side of the
I ain't that old lady that's gonna do that. But I mind my business because I don't want to get hurt or
mind business and mind me.
But yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's all I have.
It's not dead. And we are heading on over to community news.
No.
It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. And if you are not watching the video version of this, why not? You get the full-blown vibe of what's happening on the truth carpet.
You can watch on YouTube or
yes,
you can watch on Spotify.
Yes, you gotta get you gotta see our faces and our reactions and how we be dancing and fooling around.
Yes.
It'll put a smile on your face, I promise. So
make the world a better place.
when you have the opportunity, watch the video version. But first and foremost, for the first announcement, we want to thank everyone for their listenership and support, for the likes, for the comments, for the subscriptions, and if you haven't done it, we need
for
you
the
to
shares.
Right, we need you to like, we need you to comment, we need you to subscribe, we need you to share. We very, very, very much appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah.
For those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, we thank you. It means very, 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 I forgot what I was going to say. It means a lot to us. We are very, very excited to be able to continue to do this, to bring you this podcast, to have this platform, to share others' talents and their perspectives on different topics. We love doing this. We love having y'all feedback on how y'all feel about it. So continue to share with others that you feel will enjoy it. Continue sending us poets that you feel will be a good match for the show. Continue sending us guests that you think will be great to have in a hot topic segment. All the love that y'all give us, we give it right back to y'all. We very, very, very much appreciate it. Matter of fact, I must say, even though this episode is premiering on May 13th, we're recording this on April 30th, right? Which is 1 year, well, actually, no, 2 years ago, April 30th. We recorded our promo video for our first IG Live. Our first IG Live. Saba had a memory of that. And that's how this came about. We had an idea. It was during the pandemic. We're like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and share a hot topic, share some poetry, and having that live feedback with everybody that came in. It was so much fun.
Having people ask us to stay an hour.
Right after from that first
we
one.
were East Coast, West Coast during that time. That was a struggle, but
right. It was
here we are.
Here we are now.
Anytime,
so
any coast, any island.
so much fun. So now that we're still glowing and growing and making it do what it do, we are happy to have you tune in.
Yes,
absolutely.
And now that we are in May, because you're watching in May, we have another question of the month, which is, how do you support people in your life who may be going through something? So this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and if you didn't listen to our podcast episode featuring Dr. Ronald Love, tap into that.
Yes, episode 6.
Go back to that.
The one before this.
And listen to that.
Mentally Relatable is the title, okay?
It's so good. But we, like I said, we're in May and we have this question of the month. So you can answer down below. We will get the alerts. We'll get an email saying that somebody left a comment on our YouTube channel or whatever. But we also post the question of the month on our Instagram story so you can answer there and be entered for a chance to win a prize.
Yes, and this month, because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, we're going to be giving away our self-love journal. So please make sure if you're interested in having one, this gives you the opportunity for you to finally get one just by letting us know how you support the people in your life that are going through something. Right. Let's all support one another one way or two. The best way that we know how in regards to, having support. It's always good to have people in your life that know how to support you,
right.
So yes. Question of the month, mental health awareness. Yay! We in May.
Next announcement is
there is going to be a sale on our t-shirts. Well, actually, there is a sale on our t-shirts. It is on the 14th. We're having a sale right now on all of our Love Loud tees. And it ends, today is the 13th, so it ends tomorrow on the 14th. So if you haven't already got in on this sale, make sure you do it now. There's no code needed for you to cop a t-shirt at a discounted price. Whoop, I messed up the light. So log on to the website, www.loveloud.com/shop. Go into the Love Loud shop. You can get the graffiti crop top. You can get the original Love Loud tee. You can get
How Many Names?
Yes, the How Many Names t-shirt. You can get the Love Loud t-shirt with our character logo on it. All of our tees are on sale. Until tomorrow, sale ends on the 14th. Like I said, don't miss out. No code needed. And our last announcement is.
Our last announcement is if you know of any pop-up shops, any vending events, any open mic events, let us know. If you're having a cookout, a barbecue, a birthday party.
Yes, you want us to pop out.
You want us to pop out. You want us to be your friend.
Yes.
Be like, hey cousin.
Hey.
Let us know.
Right.
But really, seriously, we want to be able to have more experience with vending and being on a mic to get out there. And expose Love Loud together
exactly
as a unit. So
since
let
us
know. You can DM us, you can comment below. We have been getting some DMs and we look forward to responding to those. But thank you for everybody who's been supporting us in that way, supporting us all around. And this was a great episode of Chivalry. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your subscriptions. Thanks for your views. Thanks for your shares. And we'll see you in
2 weeks. But until next time,
stay black,
stay proud.
I don't know what.